Fact. This video shows you how to bang beautiful strippers. So if you're one of the few men who think strippers are yucky, or if you're afraid to use tricks that get women into bed, then go back to watching the fucking Disney Channel. This video is not for you. And if you consider yourself politically correct, then this video might shock the shit out of you. And if you happen to own a strip club, then you probably want me dead. That's no joke. A few strip club owners want me gone for good because I'm exposing the sneaky trick that lets you fuck a stripper with your dick. And here's a newsflash. Strip club owners do not want you to know how to do this. It's bad for business. Every time you bang a stripper, it snatches money right out of their pockets. But let me tell you, banging a stripper has some pretty surprising perks. Your friends, coworkers, and even your boss will think you're the man. An unlimited supply of the best sex you've ever had. The women already in your life will get jealous and become much more attracted to you. If that sounds good, then you better pay attention because I can promise you this video will not be up for much longer. Some very powerful guys want it taken down and me taken down with it. So if you're thinking about coming back to it later, don't say I didn't warn you. Now, if you love having sex but have trouble getting girls to fuck you, or if you just want to start fucking better looking women than you have in the past, then today's your lucky fucking day. Because you're about to discover exactly how to dominate any strip club in the world. So what does that really mean? It means beautiful women will actually be fighting to sit on your cock. And if you get nervous when you approach beautiful women, then you're going to love this trick because strippers always approach you. They keep the conversation flowing and flirty so you never have to think about what to say next. And sure, they're doing it because it's their job, but this sneaky trick will make her forget she's working. Okay, let's get started. Most guys screw up with strippers and they don't even know it. Remember, the owners don't want you fucking the girls, so the strip club is actually designed to make us fail. Sound crazy? Well, it's true. Some of the most common things we do in a strip club actually kill our chances with the strippers. That's why I call them the deadly strip club sins. And trust me, the owners do not want you to know what these sins are. So guess what? I'm going to tell them to you right now. Deadly strip club sin number 1, sitting in pervert alley. Every strip club has plenty of seats near the stage. They're tempting too. After all, who wouldn't want a front row view of some titties, right? But the second you sit there, it sets off the creep alarm in any stripper's mind. You'd be better off walking around with your dick out. Bottom line, don't ever sit anywhere near the stage. Deadly strip club sin number 2, calling a stripper by her stage name. Strippers never use their real names inside of the club. It's a rule. So you guessed it, Bambi isn't really Bambi, and Mercedes isn't really Mercedes. So why shouldn't you call her by her stage name? Because every time you say her stage name, you remind her that she's putting on an act. And that helps her stay in character. But when you say her real name, she sees you as a real person, not a customer. Bottom line, don't ever use her stage name. Deadly strip club sin number 3. Paying for lap dances. If you haven't fucked any girls in the club yet, buying lap dances is a big no-no. Why? Well, once you give money to a stripper, you give her a reason not to fuck you. So even if she likes you, she isn't going to let you in her pants. If she did, she'd be risking part of her income. Think about it. Would you really keep buying dances from a stripper you already fucked? I thought so. Bottom line, if you want to fuck a stripper, don't ever tip her. Now here's the strangest thing about the sins. When you think about them, they actually seem kind of harmless. I mean, is buying a lap dance really that big of a deal? The short answer is yes, because if it turns off one stripper, it'll turn off another stripper, and that's why the sins are so deadly. But here's the good news. Great news, in fact. Are you ready for it? Okay, here it is. It works both ways. When something you say turns on one stripper, chances are it'll turn on the next stripper. When I realized this, I was blown away. At first, I couldn't understand it. Why was the exact same line getting every stripper to reveal her real name? Every single time. So I got curious and kept experimenting until eventually I found a second line. And this one got practically any stripper to give me her phone number. I was onto something big and I wanted to know why. Why were these stripper lines working every time? When I finally figured it out, it made perfect sense. Strippers have a lot in common with each other, much more than other women do. In fact, you've probably heard the old saying, birds of a feather flock together. Well, with strippers, it's especially true. It takes a certain type of woman to walk into a strip club, get up on the stage naked, and dance around for dollar bills. On top of that, the strip club makes them even more alike and conditions the girls to think in a very unique way. I call it the stripper brain. And once I knew that all strippers had the stripper brain, making up new and effective stripper lines was a snap. For example, it's safe to say that all strippers are competitive. They have to be. For every guy walking around with a fat wallet, there's half a dozen strippers. So the girls that aren't competitive don't last a week. As soon as I realized that, I walked up to a brunette stripper and said, "Wow, I bet that blonde over there makes tons of money." Right on cue, the brunette got visibly jealous. And when she saw the blonde whispering in my ear, I could literally see her face turn red. A few stripper lines later, she was sucking my cock just to steal me away from the blonde. You can't do that with regular women. Figuring out what they have in common is like playing the lottery. Your odds suck, but strippers are a whole nother game. It's like playing tic-tac-toe against a retard. You can't lose, because no matter how different two strippers seem, they both still got that stripper brain. You get the idea. But just to be crystal clear, I'll say it another way. Strippers can't help but respond to the stripper lines. So when you know what they are, taking them home is like taking candy from a baby. They're helpless. Her stripper brain is yours to control. It's just like when you go to the doctor and he taps your knee with that little hammer. When he hits it in the right place, your leg jumps involuntarily. Same thing with strippers. They lose the control, you gain it. And that's the biggest secret of all. And by the way, when you tap or fuck me reflex, some pretty cool things happen automatically. 1. You appear dominant to the other guys in the club. In other words, not only will everyone know who you are, but they will show you respect. 2. Instead of chasing the girls chase you. They share their drinks with you. They look deep in your eyes while they dance on stage, while some other guy hands her his cash. Sometimes they'll even get into catfights over you while you sit back and relax. 3. You and your group get VIP privileges beyond what even the richest guys experience. And any friends you bring to the club will see you in a whole new light. Some of them will worship you, and truthfully, some might get jealous, but all will know you're the man. Now, most guys try to use their job or their money to create this perception, but these are the elite strippers. So if you're going to try that, you better be Donald fucking Trump. And I mean you better have a 40-foot yacht, 3 Ferraris, and a beach house in the Hamptons. So you really only have 2 choices. Try to brute force your way in by becoming super rich, or take the intelligent man's approach and use stripper lines to control the stripper brain. Then you can have lots of sex. Which brings us to stripper sex. Now the reason I call it that is simple. It's so good, it deserves its own category. And in case you're wondering why I love it so much, well, it isn't because strippers have better bodies than other women. It isn't because strippers have better hygiene than other women. It isn't because strippers are more confident than other women. It isn't even because strippers will satisfy your wildest sexual fantasies. The truth is, it's something I can't even really put into words. But here's a warning. Strippers are probably the horniest girls in the world. They work in a super sex-charged environment, but almost never fuck the customers, which leaves most of them frustrated and horny as hell. Sounds great, but it's actually been a problem for some of the guys that use my system. Here's why. Once a stripper decides she is going to fuck you, she is going to fuck you. Now you're probably thinking, that sounds great, but trust me, it's not all it's cracked up to be. I mean, you could be outside walking through a park with her, and all of a sudden she grabs your cock and pulls you behind some bushes because she needs it now. She will sit there using her finely tuned seductive charm to get your cock in her mouth and in her pussy, no matter what. Now, if you're still a young guy, that might sound pretty fun. Truth is, it's pretty fucking exhausting. But if that sounds like the kind of problem that you're looking for, then here's another secret. Banging strippers isn't only about banging strippers. In fact, if there's a girl that you like right now, the very best way to score a threesome with her is to bring her to a strip club. So do me a favor, okay? The next time your girl tells you that she isn't bisexual, just smile and nod, because when you take her to a strip club and she sees you're the fucking man, and she sees how sexy the girls are, and you use stripper line number 7, she will end up bouncing on your cock while a stripper sucks all over her tits. Let me put it this way. Even if you haven't fucked her yet, bringing her to a strip club is the ultimate threesome trigger. And by the way, that's a big difference between strippers and other women. When you bang a regular woman, her friends usually become off limits. But when you bang a stripper, her stripper friends spread their legs for you. Here's why. Number 1, strippers are competitive. So what one stripper gets, the other strippers want. Number 2, strippers are horny because none of the customers know how to fuck them. Number 3, strippers are open-minded about sex. Yep, the fact is, they're just more open-minded about sex than other women. So when you bang your first stripper and the other girls find out, well, now you're in the club, and strippers turn into dominoes. Knock one down, and the rest will fall straight into bed with you. So with great pride, I'd like to introduce Stripper Shark, the ultimate stripper banging system.